Hello everyone, today I am hereby to give a presentation on investment casting, and it belongs to a course aircraft protection technology. Now I will give a small introduction myself. My name is G. Sainer Reddy, having a PIN number of 21955A2109, and my title is investment casting used for producing ornaments. And now let us start the presentation. Abstract. Investment casting process is known to its capability of producing clear net shape, high dimensional accuracy, and integrated design. It is one of the oldest metal forming technique. Consists of several processes like investment, dewaxing, burnout, and preheating, pouring, and removal. That means we can able to understand that investment casting is consists of several processes which are listed on the screen. And next, now let us discuss. Now let us skip. Now let us go to introduction. Next, most commercial metals can be casted in sand molds. Roughly 80% of the total output of castings are made in sand molds. Sand molds are cheap but contribute rejections of casts due to defects such as blowholes, dimensional deviations, and surface irregularities, etc. Sandy casting are not suitable for integrated casting, and as you know that for integrating casting, special methods are considered. So, as a basic doubt has been raised in your mind, that is, we have a lot of casting techniques when compared to other. Then we will raise a doubt, means why we will use investment casting for making ornaments or integrated components, because investment casting can able to cast the component with high accuracy and high dimension. So this cannot be achieved by other casting techniques. Therefore, investment casting is most widely used for producing ornaments. Next, investment casting may be described in the further presentation. Investment casting history. Now let us discuss about the history of investment casting. Investment casting is an industrial process based on and also called lost wax casting. That means investment casting is also known as lost wax casting, which means in this process we will lose the wax. Next, it is also known as one of the oldest metal forming techniques, which were used by Egyptians and other to make idols, jewelry, and ornaments, and it posed high demand in 19th century for dental applications. Now let us discuss about the steps involved in the investment casting. Preheating the metal, preheating the heat disposable wax, plastics, all polystyrene pattern in a die. We can consider any one substance in the investment casting. Most widely, wax is considered as a material used in investment casting. Next, assembly of the prepared pattern into a grating system. Next, ceramic gold is applied, and then the refractory material named called slurry is applied. Next, melting the pattern, assemble, which means burning out the wax by firing, means by providing the heat nearest to the substance, the wax will melt out from removing the trace of the pattern material. Next, the metal in molten state is poured into the formed mold. Next, once the material solidified, the shell is removed by means of knockout. Next, cutting of the unwanted parts like gate, spruce, pouring basin and etc. Next, finishing operations to get the desired dimension, tolerance and finish. Now if we observe the figure clearly, we can able to understand the figure consists of four shapes, four ways, in which in the first stage we can able to understand we would took the workpiece, took the component of the desired shape, and we will make it with the help of the wax, and then we will dip it into a ceramic slurry, which and then we will dip into ceramic slurry, which will form like a thin like shell, and then we will wait for a time to get solidified, and then after solidifying, then we will supply the heat nearest to the material, so that the wax inside the material will be melt out, and that shell in the ceramic slurry forms like a shell like structure which possesses high dimensional accuracy. Then we will pour the molten metal and then into the shell, into a formed shell. Then after some time, the molten metal gets solidified, and then after solidification we will break the shell down. Then we can able to get the desired components with high accuracy and high accurately. Now let us discuss about the process we are going to face in investment casting. Investment. The first process is investment, in which the ceramic mold known as the investment is produced by 3 repeating steps, that are coating, stroking, hardening. Which means investment casting is considered as a bunch of steps, in which the first step is investment, in which it possesses coating, stroking and hardening. Now let us discuss the first step, involving dipping the cluster into a slurry of fine refractory material and then letting an excess so a uniform surface is formed. In second step, the cluster is coated. Then finally the coating is allowed to harden. The investment is allowed to completely dry, which can take 16 to 48 hours. Next, dewaxing, in which we will rotate the component, and then we will supply the heat nearest to the component, so that the material can able to melt out completely, and then so the wax is heated, it expands and induces great stresses. In order to minimize the stresses, the wax is heated rapidly as possible, so that the surface of the wax can melt into the surface of the investment or run out of mold, which makes room for the rest of the wax to expand. Burnout or preheating. The mold is then subjected to a burnout, which heats the mold between 870 degrees to 1095 degrees Celsius to remove any moisture and reduce wax. Sometimes the heating is also known as preheating. Next, pouring. The investment mold is then placed upwards into a tube filled with sand. The metal may be gravity poured. Next, removable. After pouring the metal, it gets solidified. Then we will remove the shell with the help of hammered or media blasted or vibrated or jetted or chemically dissolved. Next, the unnecessary components will be removed off by means of grinding or other operations. Next, by this we can able to achieve that. Now let us discuss about the applications. The investment casting is suitable for mass production for small size casting. Next, the major applications of investment casting are to produce the blades of gas turbines and jet engines, and it is mainly used to produce the tools which we were used in mechanical purpose or any necessary purpose, and it is mainly used to produce a die, and the die is used to produce the external threads to a component. So we can able to understand that die is a necessary, and die as an accurately, which means to produce a threads is accuracy. So we can able to understand that investment casting is applied only is used when the desired component should possess high accuracy and high dimension, and then at last it is used to produce the parts of sewing machine. Next advantages: produces complicated shapes with extreme dimension accuracy. That means we can able to produce the desired components which have extreme and which the component possess high extreme dimension accuracy. And next, parts produced by investment casting does not require machining. Next, thin sections of 0.75 mm thickness can be cast. Next, the main advantage of the investment casting is the absence of potting line on casting gives pleasant appearance. Now let us discuss the disadvantages. The cost of the production is high because in this investment casting we will lose the wax, therefore the cost will be higher than the other casting process. And next, the major disadvantage of this investment casting is the process is limited to produce small casting of less than 0.5 kS. When I will describe about this point, a question has been raised in your mind that why does this process is limited to small casting? Because if you consider the large casting, it possesses more weight. In which more weight means in this, as you know that in investment casting we need to make a pattern of wax, and then we should and then we should dip into a slurry, and then we should wait for some time, and then after some time, and the shell will be formed like a strong like structure, then we will remove the wax. So if the material is large, then we can't able to dip in, and it consumes more time to get strong, and the large drawback is if we take the large material, it possesses easy to break because the produced shell is less than 0.75 mm thick. Therefore if we take the large casting, it can easily break away. Next, conclusion: investment casting is also known as lost wax, as we described below. Next, this method is used for making integrated casting from metal which cannot be shaped by other methods. Investment casting is a metal forming process that uses a ceramic shell built over a wax pattern produced from a die to produce parts with extraordinary uniform and smooth surface. And the main purpose of the investment casting is to produce ornaments. Thank you.